Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. My name's Blake Cousins, and we're live via Skype from Los Angeles with L.A. Marzulli from the TV series The Watchers. Thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase, L.A.
Hey, great to be here, guys.
Okay, well, I want to get to it right now. Subject matter, priority list. Nephilim and the Anunnaki. There are these massive skeletons that are being found around the world. Is there a cover-up? Are people having these skeletons in their possession and not sharing it with the world? What's going on here, LA?
Well, look, I've been on the trail, which is the title of the book, by the way, On the Trail of the Nephilim. Been doing this for quite some time. Let me just show you one thing here. I'll drag this in, and you guys can take a look at it. I think you'll find it very interesting. Here's an axe head that we found at the Field Museum, all right, in Chicago. And the explanation under that axe head is it's a ceremonial axe head, which is sort of interesting, isn't it? And basically, it says that this axe head is ceremonial to symbolize the great stature of the chief and how he was able to cut the forest down. Well, who made that up? Where did that come from? And what we see that these artifacts have been sanitized and they have been labeled from the white man's perspective. Now, I am in dialogue with several Native Americans. One happens to be a Native American war chief. And it's amazing the disparity between the white man's version of things and what the Native Americans are saying. And of course, let me show you another thing. Here's an axe head, or here's, I gave you the spearhead. I'm sorry. Here's a spearhead. I showed you the axe head already. So here's a spearhead, same type of deal, where it says, oh, the spearhead was ceremonial, and it's about this big. I mean, could you throw it? Yeah, maybe 20 feet or something. Could you actually use it in any sense? I don't think so. And what's interesting is when you put a 8 or 9 footer with this axe head or with the spearhead, suddenly it's not ceremonial, it's utilitarian. And what we're saying, and I have emailed people at the museum, the Field Museum, and simple question: where were these artifacts found? That's all. What burial mound were they found in? What other artifacts that you find with them? Can't get an answer out of everybody. Well, meanwhile, let me see if I can get you some.
So what was the answer from the museum? What did they give you an answer where these were covered? And so
no, I basically got zero response after repeated emails to these people. Basically, I got I got the runaround. I got a closed door in my face, and that's what we get a lot of the time.
What do you think these are? How old are these skeletons, these remains?
Well, the theory that we're working on, and this ties into the biblical Nephilim or the giant, which is really interesting. We know from the biblical account that the children of Israel leave Egypt, okay? And there's all these bizarre events that happen that's around the children of Israel. First of all, they're there for 400 years. So they're welcomed at first, and then they wind up as slaves, and they do all these building projects. And of course, the whole thing with Moses, and what this is it's like it's boots on the ground, supernatural warfare, where like, okay, we're gonna Moses and Aaron in one corner and Pharaoh's magicians in the other corner, and these guys are battling it out. I mean, it's like, golly, where's my video camera for that? I mean, Moses walks in and he throws his staff down. The thing becomes a serpent. The Egyptians go, big deal. They throw their staffs then out. I mean, this is highly occult, dark arts, left-hand path, highly evolved magic. It's real power, and stuff is really happening. It's not make-believe, it's not fiction. Anyway, to cut to the chase, the plagues happen, the Israelites go up, they're wandering around the desert, and they come up to the Levant, or what is known as the Promised Land, all right? They send in a bunch of spies. They send in 12 spies, 1 spy from each tribe. 10 of the guys come back and go, oh, we can't go in there, enough over there, where? And they give a bad report. The other 2 go, we can take them. The bottom line is that generation passes away. 40 years later, they come back to the same place, let's go at it, and they begin the mandate, and this has stumbled many researchers and many biblical scholars. The mandate comes down from the guy upstairs, wipe everybody out. Men, women, children, animals, burn it all. Now that's genocide. That is absolutely abhorrent. That is genocide in any culture, in any time in history. Unless we are dealing with an outside agency which is corrupting the genome and affecting it, and thus the mandate needs to be done because these entities that are in this place are not fully human. The Nephilim are not human. They're not human as we know it. In fact, some scholars believe that they don't have souls. Now, I don't know how all that works. No one does, really. But they're soulless. Yes, they're there, but they're soulless. So,
you call it the Nephilim, and other people call it the Nephilim. My question to you is, what is the largest species found of the Nephilim on the planet, and who owns it now?
Well, it really varies. It depends on who you talk to. If you talk to Steve Quayle, he'll tell you that the first incursion, the Nephilim before the flood, were 30, 35 feet tall. Now, I'm in contact. We have a bona fide artifact that's perhaps thousands of years old from a professor at a leading university in another country. I have seen pictures of this. I am desperately trying to contact this man. I've sent him 2 or 3 emails. No reply as of yet. But another professor at the university told me that he's extremely busy and he will get back to me. The bottom line is this. This artifact is a femur bone. And the femur bone is about, it's only a fragment of it. It's about this big, okay? But extrapolate that, a 12-footer would be about this big. It's very, very big. And what he does is he shows this large femur bone and puts the modern day femur bone from a 6-foot male next to it. Guess what? It's twice the size. If we extrapolate from that, we are looking at a 12-foot individual. That is absolutely huge. What's interesting is we get in the Judaic scriptures, what we would call the Old Testament in the Christian Bible, we get these characters which come on the scene. Og, king of Bashan, which, and depending on which scholar you talk to, between 12 and 15 feet. The guy's huge. Goliath, between 9 and 12 feet. So we have a biblical record of the Nephilim. So getting back, the first incursion before the flood, 30 feet. After that, they seem to get less, or they seem not to be as tall. Now, the reason for this is the human DNA may have been altered. In other words, the text tells us, and this stuff is bizarre, I'll admit this, that men and women lived between 500 and 900 years before the flood. And then this God of the Bible comes back down and shortens the lifespan. It says very specifically, mankind will no longer live this long. 120 years is the max, which is what we see today. So is our DNA changed? Possibly. And is that why we're not getting the giants like we used to? That's why they're only 12 or 15 feet instead of 30 feet? That's just conjecture on my part.
So there's this new trailer out with Russell Crowe called Noah. Are you aware of the new film being produced by
I am aware, but I have not seen it yet. And so I really can't weigh in on it, but I don't think it deals with the Nephilim at all. I think it leaves that out, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, there's the Passion of the Christ, and now they're coming out with Noah. You know, it looks like an epic movie, but to me, is it realistic? It doesn't seem like there's any case for the Nephilim or these giants, but it does seem like it does have a godly power that's going to start this massive deluge. That it's just not a, rising of the tides. It seems that the whole earth itself is shooting out huge amounts of water, volcanic kind of explosions to flood the earth. Is this, something that's been put in the biblical sense, or are they pretty much putting it their Hollywood twist? What's your opinion?
Well, I think Hollywood is, without seeing the film again, Hollywood's going to do what Hollywood does. However, and of course, if they negate any reference to the Nephilim, then they miss the whole thrust of the movie, or they actually miss the whole thrust of the text. Unless a person throws in the Nephilim, why is this guy from outside space-time continuum, whom some people call God, I do, why is he destroying everybody on the planet? It just seems like this wrathful vengeance God, wipe them all out, yeah, right? And yet, when we plug in the Nephilim, we realize the gene pool has been completely contaminated. And this is what drives me nuts about these kind of movies. Unless they look at the text and really understand what the text says, and the text says very, very clearly, it says that only 6 people or 8 people were somehow genetically not tampered with. And in fact, this God of the Bible says, Noah, you, your wife, your sons, and your son's wife. That's a vetting process, in my opinion. He's vetting them. He's saying, you guys come on the ark. Everybody else on the planet, we have no idea how many were there, gets wiped out because not only the humankind is contaminated, but the animal kingdom is also contaminated. In other words, what we see in Greek mythos, fauns and centaurs and minotaurs, may actually have their roots in reality. Those hybrid creatures, those chimeras, may have actually been real.
Absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, we're at the end of the show. L.A. Marzulli, thanks for joining us here at Third Phase Moon. We really want to have you back so we could go over more specific detail. It's been a wild ride. Thanks for sharing this incredible information. L.A., any last words, a few seconds?
Well, all I can tell you is that there's an ancient biblical prophecy 2,000 years ago which states this: as in the days of Noah, so it will be when the Son of Man returns. And in my opinion, the same type of genetic manipulation is happening today, specifically in the alien abduction phenomena. The two, I believe, are linked together.
Thank you, L.A. And if anybody out there has captured anything amazing in regard to UFOs, you can contact Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again next time.